Alright, so we're looking at similar solids, so they're blown up or shrunken down versions of each other, and how that deals with our similarity ratios. So if we look at these two, we have to figure out if these two cylinders are similar. If they are, give the similar. So that means the corresponding things have to match up. Radius to radius, height to height have to give the same proportion. So if I take the radius of the large over the radius of the small, that needs to equal the height of the large over the height of the small. So I just plug in my values. I don't know if that's equal. I get 6/5 is the same as 12/10. If I reduce that, if I divide by 2, I get 6/5 is the same. So it is proportional, which means it is similar, which means that my ratio is 6:5. If I look at the next one, I've been given two surface areas, and I need to figure out the similarity ratio. Well, the similarity ratio is whatever it is becomes squared when I'm talking about the areas. So if I have these areas, that's my similarity ratio squared. So to undo that square root, I take the square root. I take the square root on my right side and get a over b. And then I take the square root of 144 and the square root of 324 and get 12 over 18. If I divide those by 6, I get 2/3, and that is my similarity ratio. If I look at the next one, I have to do a little bit more work. I'm given volumes, and so those are my volumes, which means that is my similarity ratio cubed. So I solve that by taking the cube root of both sides. Now, I can save myself a little bit of a hassle if I look for perfect cubes. So if I divide both of those by 2, I get 64 over 125, which are perfect cubes. So if I take the cube root of 64, I get 4. The cube root of 125 is 5, so my similarity ratio is 4/5. Now I need to use that to figure out a surface area. So the surface area of the small over the surface area of large is the ratio, but not just the ratio squared. So when I plug in my values of 4/5, that goes in for my ratio, and multiply by 250, I get the surface area of the small is 16 over 25 times 250, or 160 square meters.